What's going on, family? It's your friend, Donovan Hilton, business advisor and relationship management expert. And fun fact for those that don't know, I'm a registered Lord of Glencoe in the country of Scotland, courtesy of Highland titles. And speaking of relationship management, we're going to go through the Hamilton soundtrack. Not every soundtrack, but go through some of them as far as the Hamilton soundtrack. If you're familiar with the play, this play resonated with me very well, especially when I was going through some of the challenging times and listening to. And I wasn't aware of Hamilton and his story or anything of that nature before the play, and there could be various perspectives as to why the play was created. But for me, and what I took from it, it gave me an opportunity to find inspiration, and everyone has their own style, in the play, which made me want to look deeper into the history. And so I would always advocate for everyone to do their research. Just because the play doesn't mean it's fact. Do your research, and going through this series, hopefully we can jump into some of that. But shout out to Hamilton, the cast, the team, the investors. I don't own any rights to this content. I'm hopefully promoting Hamilton to that body there. And again, great job. I know a lot of the songs from the director come from some of his previous plays as far as the cadences and things like that. But it was very engaging to me. And especially with civics being one of my more favorite topics, and business and economics, it does deal with that. And then you also have community. So let's go ahead and jump into the first soundtrack, and go into the next videos. I won't be as winded in the explanations. So as it's going, I'm going to write down what catches my attention. Let's do it.
How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore and a Scotsman, dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean, by providence impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar? The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter. By 14, they placed him in charge of a trading charter.
And every day while slaves were being slaughtered and carted away across the waves, he struggled and kept his guard up. Inside he was longing for something to be a part of. The brother was ready to beg, steal, borrow, or barter.
Then a hurricane came, devastation reigned. A man saw his future dripping down the drain. Put a pencil to his temple, connected it to his brain, and he wrote his first refrain, a testament to his pain. Well, the word got around, they said this kid is insane, man. Took up a collection just to send him to the mainland. Get your education, don't forget from whence you came, and the world's gonna know your name. What's your name, man?
Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton, and there's a million things I haven't done. Just you wait, just you wait.
When he was 10, his father split, full of it, debt-ridden. 2 years later, see Alex and his mother bedridden, half dead, sitting in their own sick, the scent thick. And Alex got better, but his mother went.
Moved in with a cousin, the cousin committed suicide. Left him with nothing but ruined pride. Something new inside, a voice saying, Alex, you gotta fend for yourself. He started retreating and reading every treatise on the shelf.
There would have been nothing left to do for someone less astute. He would have been dead and destitute without a cent or restitution. Started working for his late mother's landlord, trading sugar cane and rum and all the things he can't afford. Scared for every book he can get his hands on. Planning for the future, see him now as he stands on the bow of a ship, headed for a new land. In New York, you can be a new man.
New York, you can be a new way. New York, you can just you way. New York, you can be a new man. New York, just you way.
Alexander Hamilton,
Alexander Hamilton,
you are waiting in the wings for you.
waiting in the wings for
You
you.
never back down, you never learn
take your time. Oh, Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton. When America sings for you, will they know what you overcame? Will they know you rewrote the game? The world will never be the same. The ship is in the harbor now, see if you can spot him. Another immigrant coming up from the bottom. His enemies destroyed his rep, America forgot him.
We fought with him.
Me, I died for him.
Me, I trusted him.
Me, I loved him.
And me, I'm the damn fool that shot him.
There's a million things I haven't done, but just to pray.
What's your name, man?
Alexander Hamilton.
Okay. Just real quick, and this may sound cliche and may be boring, but again, for me, at a time, coincidentally, I found comfort in this play, in the story. And I listened to the story regularly. I'm exercising. I listen to the soundtrack. I just appreciate the soundtrack for some reason. And so it takes me back as I continue to move through the challenges and I look back and I listen to the songs, it resonates with me because it took me to a place where I had to persevere. I had to be creative and a few other things. And so we're going to talk about that during this first track. And just again, I'm not going to do every track. So I definitely want you to watch the play and go through the proper process to do so. But ultimately, let me see. I hope I have it. Give me a second, y'all. I don't. Okay. Well, that's a rare occasion, but a very rare occasion. I was looking for my pointer, but can't find it. But at any rate, so the beginning of, and I want you to think about maybe your situation in life. The beginning of the song starts off with a question, which I really appreciate. And the question in how does A? So when, or how does A, DOES, how does A? And when someone asks the question, how does A, sometimes it means that they don't know. And they're actually asking a question, even though it may be a blatant dismissal question. Someone says, well, how does that's still a question that you may not know. So basically, the first part of the sentence of the first track, beginning of the soundtrack, starts off with the question because I think what Alexander was able to accomplish, most people cannot conceive or fathom how that's done, especially knowing Alexander's story. We're going to see that as we go through this thing. So I like the fact that it asks the question, how does it starts off with a bastard, which is a fatherless child from my understanding. So know that at the beginning, you can get labels put on you, but those labels don't have to shape you. They're just people's compartmentalized idea of you to make maybe them feel better. I don't know. Leave that in the comments. It's not about pointing finger of blame. This is for us to stimulate our minds. But someone, because you're a bastard, I mean, what, you can't reach greatness? But they're asking, how does a bastard? That's the first thing they want to say. Son of a whore. Now, I don't want to get too sensitive, but we all have, situation experiences and challenges that we grew up in. In this particular case, Alexander's is the perception that his mom's a whore from per the song. Do your research, but you have a bastard, fatherless child whose mom is a whore, and a squalor was the word they used. I think a squalor is someone that's really not producing too much. And so automatically at the beginning of the soundtrack and the play is letting you know that how does A, meaning how could someone that's labeled so much by society be able to accomplish so much? And maybe someone that does not have so many labels is not able to accomplish anything. And this is where greatness, comes from. This is where greatness lies. This is where producers and consumers may separate per se. It's a mindset is what I'm talking about, not physically. So How does a bastard, son of a whore, squalor be a hero and a scholar? And that alone can let us know that no matter what we're going through, no matter what challenges are happening, and going through the process, I know it's going to be hard. It is tough. It's probably painful. But at the end of the day, the results, and then on top of the results, the perseverance or story to get there, that's what I've learned is what is needed to connect with one another as human beings. It's our stories, it's our adversities, it's our perseverance. And these again are what make people stand out and be great, because it's easy to go through challenges and give up. We get it. You probably have the right to do it. But how do you, as a bastard, a son of a whore, a squalor, end up being a hero and a scholar? Not a hero, someone who went through action and action, pretty much getting stuff done. But a scholar is someone that's studying, taking time out. That takes time. You can only learn so much in 1 second, So for him to be a hero and a scholar from what society labeled him, that alone lets us know that we do not have to fit or be the mold of what society labels us, as far as, not being a producer or whatever that looks like. And come to find out, at the end of the day, Alexander Hamilton worked with, according to the soundtrack, the founding father, if you will, of America, George Washington. So you have this bastard, son of a whore, squalor, ends up becoming a hero and a scholar and almost the right hand of George Washington. Again, do your research and all that, but I just felt like the concept and the storyline is intriguing for any maybe young adult at the time, or someone that's going through challenges and needs some inspiration. That's why it was very therapeutic for me. So shout out to the creators, because you can take, even though there's maybe a message that some of us want us to focus on, sometimes you try to look at the good and love in all things, and again, that message, outside of maybe any whatever may come from that, I haven't heard anything negative, but the message and the internal message of perseverance and greatness and pursuing is what I appreciated. So at 14 years old, Alexander Hamilton was working as the head of a trading company, and that's what makes him one unique. And this community ends up sending Alexander to the U.S. This trading company, or this he worked at a port. The city was more of like a port city, and so there were ships being docked and berthed and being sent out and all the other stuff. And I believe this tornado or storm comes through and decimates the city and the port. And so his community ends up giving him money and sending him to America with pretty much the stuff on his back and what he can carry. Because again, at 14, he was already heading and running a trading company by a municipality, by a port. And he's coming from being a bastard, being seen as a whore and a squalor. And he ends up becoming a scholar and working his way to a point where he's the head of a trading company. And so the people see potential in him, they give him money, and they send him over to America. And when they introduced Alexander Hamilton in the soundtrack for the first time, one of Alexander's, according to the play, one of Alexander's favorite, or what he used in an indirect first impression, is "Just You Wait." So they showed Alexander, even with all the things that he was labeled and what he had to go through. We'll talk about that. And what he went through was, at 10, his father left his mom. His mom passes away. And again, they're living on ends meet. Mom's maybe doing what she has to do. Mom's passes away at a young age. So he moves in with his cousin, and his cousin ends up committing suicide. So at a young age, Alexander's on his own. No father. Mother passes away. I'm sure him and his mom were tight. And then the only source of support and security he has from that point, with no parents, ends up committing suicide, respectfully. And so, and still he says, "Just you wait." I have to pause on that. According to the play, the writing, "Just you wait." So again, don't allow labels or perceptions of others stop you from doing what you're supposed to do. Alexander's mindset was, "Just you wait," meaning you're going to see. That's ambition. That's courage. That's love, life, passion, all those other things. And it could be fear. And I say fear because, not necessarily fear, but I'll use it in the context of knowing that if he does not go after this, that's deep in his heart, he'll lose out on the opportunity and may not be as fulfilled as he is in his life. And we'll go into a story as we go through some of the limited tracks. And so again, he read a lot. He mastered business and was in trade and was a part of ships and transportation. And he ends up basically moving to a new land when he was sent off to America. And he moved to a new land with the perception, either he and others, of he becoming a new man per se. Because again, bastard, son of a whore, squalor, turns into a hero and a scholar. 14, he's running a trading post, a trading company. He's on his way. People see, what he is today at 14 compared to what people may have saw him when he was younger and what he went through. Respect him for his drive and challenge and going hard. Wipes the area gets wiped out. People give him money to go to America where it's a new land for him to be a new man. So imagine all that he went through, those challenges and that wisdom now, that knowledge, all that insight and experience, and now going to a whole new land with zeal and passion to go make something happen out of nothing, going to a new land with the mindset of being a new man and maybe in a new socio-economic position, if you will. That is, how do you feel that is? What emotion comes to you when we break it down like that? And he's saying, in a new land, I could become a new man, knowing all the challenges he went through. What emotion comes to you? And put in the comments. And let's talk about those things, because everyone may have a different emotion when we hear this. And this is why I always advocate emotional intelligence. I should have in the description a free ebook of understanding the art of emotional intelligence from my perspective. It should be in the description. If not, there should be an email in the description where you can send me an email and I can get that ebook over to you. So you're in a new land, you're a new man. I'll give you an example real quick. I moved from one state to another state when I was 21 years old with my girlfriend, unhoused, and currently 37. That girlfriend and I have been married for over 10 years with 3 beautiful boys. And when we were unhoused, one of the greatest things that helped us was we ended up taking our last few dollars and moving to a whole nother state with pretty much the clothes on our backs and the money in our pocket, which were just a few dollars, because my soon-to-be wife's side of the family said, hey, you guys are homeless in this state. Come out to this state. You can move in with us and see what shakes, as they say. And so a new land, a new man, that stuff is to some degree real. And that's why you shouldn't limit yourself if you're going through challenges or things aren't quite working or that opportunity is not there, for you to go somewhere else and to go see what other opportunities could rise. Someone once told me in a business training that, hey, yes, you can make a lot of money in, you're providing your product or service in America, but take your product or service outside the country and you'll get 90% more business faster because of the rarity or the uniqueness of what you're providing in the international realm. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Leave your thoughts in the comments on that. So it does say about Alexander Hamilton, as he's going to a new land as a new man, it does say that he never backs down, which makes him really unique, but he also never learned how to take his time. He never backed down, but he also did not learn how to take his time. And that's a balance. Those are two extremes of the same situation. I'm gonna use that word. And that's a balance that you have to find. And so sometimes that youth of never backing down with time and maturity and growth will help you to learn how to take your time. And I say that because I had shout out Team USA Kickboxing, the national United States of America kickboxing team, the current president, Rob Zabilski. Shout out to the team and the administrative director, Ashley Zabilski. Shout out Coach Kevin Walker, state of Tennessee, state director for USA Kickboxing and community engagement director. Had an opportunity to represent the USA, Team USA kickboxing or USA kickboxing brand and hosting 3 national championships in Nashville, Tennessee, and assisting with procuring funding and really driving the market for USA kickboxing within the Southeast region of the US. And I say that to say, when it comes to learning how to take your time, you can see when I'm watching the competitions, you can look at the competition, especially the males, the young males versus the older males. And what I mean by that is the young males, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, the older folks, 24 on up. Hopefully that face doesn't become a meme of what I just did. But 24 on up, maybe 30 on up. Just say 24 on up. The point is what I'm saying is when it's time to compete, the younger folks are just out there swinging kicks and throwing and fighting with pace and just going boom, 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 boom. But when you look at the older males that fight, they conserve their energy. They don't just start swinging and when the bell rings and this and that of that nature. They wait. They either go on a strategic offense of attack or a strategic defensive attack and strike when necessary. And you can just see how maturity and age helps you to take your time, if you will. And I know for me, the way that I got to the new state, how I was able to move to the new state, I went to the casino and used part of my money at the gambling table. And I was able to win that night and take that money and buy airplane tickets. So that was me never backing down. And maybe if I'd have learned at that time how to take my time, I would not have made the decision to go to the casino to use what little money I had to maybe get airplane tickets to go to a new location, to a new land. So it's a lot of moving parts. Grace is a big thing as well. Grace being effortless beauty of life, the spiritual side of the conversation. And let's bring it back to Alexander Hamilton. What also resonated with me, and maybe it's just the size of the impact you want to make, but there's a powerful statement. Alexander Hamilton, part of the song, America waits for you. America was a baby superpower, was an unbirthed superpower in the making, if you will, respectfully, in that regard. And what America, it's from that time to what America is today. And so to hear when people look back and knowing your history that America waits for you, that's making an impact. That's being a hero. That's really being a scholar. And to hear someone doing that based upon their challenges and adversities, it was inspiring for me because, again, at that time, I was going through challenges and adversities and really nowhere near what this was. But to me, it was personal and it was dear to my heart. And I had to find a way to persevere. And this is why I really wanted to gravitate and highlight and commend the directors and creators of this film and play soundtrack. So America Works for You, Alexander. We're going to talk about the impacts that he makes according to the play. The world will never be the same. These are the mindsets of how I like to move. Such and such is waiting for you. Such and such will never be the same. I like to make impact. It's so important. Let's see. The world will never be the same. Let's see. 1 million things I haven't done. So the world will never be the same is what the play is saying. And Alexander comes back and says, as I'm going to this new land and becoming a new man, there's 1 million things I haven't done. And I'm sure he's not going to back down. And I'm hoping he's going to learn how to take his time. But as they said in the intro of the play, Alexander never backed down, but he never learned how to take his time. So there's 1 million things he hasn't done. We're going to see how time and taking your time plays a role in that, how it does not play a role, and again, perseverance. So tell me what you think about my perception and feedback of the first soundtrack or the first song of the soundtrack, and how it resonates to what we're talking about. If you have any interesting things you'd like to add, throw them in the link. Throw them in the comments. Thank you for, I didn't say at the beginning, smashing that bell and hitting that button and liking, subscribing, sharing, and all that good stuff. And so, a few seconds, please. And so, duty calls. And so, we'll get into the next one. If you If you want, feel free to, in the description, I do provide limited time offers of 20-minute private advising sessions in which you can book a private advising session with me on anything marketing and visibility, hiring and retention, and community insight, as I run a sales and marketing consulting firm in the business of promoting your brand to increase your customer base and your community presence in urban areas, all the way to where I serve as a private business advisor for your brand and for you, business owners, managing partners, directors, board members, executives, nonprofit leaders, so that you can have insight, access, and resources to, at the minimum, generate more leads, increase your brand awareness, and increase your cross-promotion opportunities. But all those things happen because of, one, self-improvement, personal development, leadership development, and understanding how life and certain messages work, even within entertainment, if you will, which was actually a part of history. It was what was being portrayed. So again, if you felt this message was worth, not again, but if you felt this message was worth any value to you, again, thank you for hitting the like button and smashing the bell. There should be a description where you would like to donate if you like as well, to keep this thing going and to move forward. I'll have some more soundtracks for you. Click the button to go to the next one. Let's do it.